Why is effective listening so important? Effective listening is important because we cannot act as if we know how to suffice the customer's wants and or needs if we're not effectively listening to what they are. Effective listening is important because with that, I say that we can move forward. And a saying that I like to say is, a cell is like an algebraic equation. Once you find the solution, the rest will answer itself. And what I mean by that, a little scenario. A man steps into the bank. I'm the personal banker at the moment. He's a little dismayed about every time he comes into the bank, he has to pay a $30 fee just to cash his check when that check is made off of our bank. So, there's no issue verifying funds or anything like that. However, that's just standard protocol and that's just a part of our policy. Therefore, I have to implement that and I have to follow suit. So I listen to this customer and he informs me that, he just does not agree with that. So after the customer finishes his statement, I then go on to provide him with the solution. The solution for that simple problem would be to open an account with us. If you know you have to come here every week to cash your check because you don't have a banking institution, why not set up a banking institution right here where you know that you can cash your checks at that time free of charge if you would like to. However, I can provide you with a better solution because I can offer you direct deposit and I'll pay you just for setting up direct deposit. And once you set up that direct deposit, guess what? I'll pay you 2 days in advance than you would normally pay. Well, get paid when you have this paper check and I'll save you time by having to travel back to and from the bank. Doesn't it sound good? This is what we like to call an additional add-on, an add-on benefit. A benefit the consumer never even fathomed asking for, but you were able to not only satiate his immediate wants, but you were able to take it a step further and provide him with a want or a need that he did not even know that he had, and you were able to supply that need as well. So that's another big selling point when it comes up to being a successful salesman, is to answer those questions before they are asked, as well as providing solutions for problems that may not even necessarily be apparent or be transparent to the consumer. When we're going about this, we must remember that it's imperative for us to feel as though we are the champion. And not to say it in a jokingly way, however, the first thing you should put on when you're preparing yourself for a sales date is your confidence. Never leave home without it. Because if I'm confident in what I'm selling to you and my abilities to be able to satiate your needs and be able to fulfill those needs based off of my training and my ability to be able to decipher what you're coming here for, I'm able to ensure that every need is met. And that's, at the end of the day, what we would like to do on every occasion. So, if you come in and you exude confidence, what you're speaking about, the customer will feel comfortable with conducting business with you. However, you don't want to come off as arrogant or in a condescending manner, because that's not a good tactic when it comes to sales. The person who is buying from you needs to have some form of connection. There needs to be some way that the customer can relate to what you're saying, as well as you yourself as a product. So, with that being said, how many times has it been that you've purchased something from someone that you necessarily did not like, or they were kind of iffy, or when was a time that someone seemed iffy about the product and that changed your whole perspective of how you felt about purchasing that product? You know, when you go to a store or you go to an establishment, like a branded establishment, let's say I go to Best Buy and I go up to a member of the Geek Squad and I ask him something specific about a certain laptop that I am interested in. And he gives me a rebuttal that isn't quite acceptable, or that isn't quite informative, or he's not sure himself. At that point in time, doubt sets in with me, and that kind of, it could have killed the sale. So one thing that you must know, if you do have a job that will allow you to, never be afraid to ask for help. A lot of the times, you know, a sale was kind of too much for me. You know, this may be something that I wasn't used to, or I may have a coworker who has more experience with selling to this genre of people than I do necessarily. And that's nothing against me or saying that I'm a bad saleswoman. However, that's just knowing the market and knowing that, hey, look, maybe I'm not able to relate to this person how, you know, Lillian can, because Lillian, she grew up in Houston, and so they're able to talk about, you know, different things that, you know, transpired in Houston, so this will be a better match. So bring Lillian in. This will add the cherry on top. And that confidence exudes off Lillian because she knows what she's talking about. And that right there gives a customer a sense of relief, and it provides a rapport between you and, you know, well, you all and that customer at this time. And that's exactly what you want to do. Why does confidence work so well as a selling tool? Well, confidence is always the first thing that you want to, like I said, you want to put on when you are trying to sell something, because no one wants to buy something from someone who is not confident in what they're selling. It sets up, in a mental aspect, it sets up doubt in the consumer's mind, and that's the last thing you want to do. Selling is like a judgment. It has to be beyond reasonable doubt, or it won't be a good sale, or you'll have a chance of that sale coming back. In some industries, you will be penalized if you sell something and that consumer brings it back. It's no longer considered your sale. And so to avoid that in its entirety, that's why it's very, very, very important to go down these steps that we have discussed throughout this presentation, in order to make sure that not only you have a successful sale, you do close successfully, which will prevent, I won't say prevent, but it will minimize the chances of having a return sale, okay? So confidence works well because not only does it give, you know, the customer reassurance that you are aware of what you're speaking of, it does go back and kind of reinforces what the customer already had. If this customer already feels some type of way about, you know, this laptop, if she's like, oh my gosh, I just need this Mac laptop. If I go in and I'm telling her all these like specs on this laptop and I'm confident, I'm excited about it, she's going to be just as excited as she was when she came in with the mindset to make this purchase. All I'm doing is solidifying what she already had in her mind, that, you know, you're right. You're making a great choice. That's a great decision. If that were me, I would do the same thing. That's what we call an assumptive sale. You're going to like this. You know, we're going to assume that she has this product, and then assume that she's going to benefit from using this product. And that's another sales tactic that one can use, is to put the customer in that selling situation and have them with the product and give them ideas as to how they can not only utilize that product, but benefit from the utilization of that product. That's why it's so important to know your stuff. Know your stuff. What are you selling? Why is this product so important? What differentiates this product from that product? Why? Why is this the better choice? be able to give clear, concise definitions as to why this product is better than this product. Always have a source of comparison. Okay, well look, this is the runner-up. It's always good to, give members a way to compare and contrast what they may feel is the best. So what we have learned is these small tips and fundamentals as to how to engage the sale, more or less. Now, when do we close that sale? When is it appropriate to go ahead and close, hey, let's go take this back to the branch. Let's set up this account. How to close? What type of closing strategies work best for you? Are you an assumptive seller? Just saying, hey, look, this is what I'm going to do for you. We're going to get this set up for you. That's an assumptive sale. Are you a seller who wants to make sure that the customer is all the way into it and is engaged? And, are you going to ask that question, are you ready to do this? Are you that type of seller? Or are you the timid seller and you wait for the member to say, hey, okay, I'm interested, sign me up. What type of seller are you? What works best for you? Let's figure that out. Honestly, it depends on what you're selling. That's why it kind of goes back to these principles. If you utilize these principles, if you listen to your consumer, if you know what your consumer is looking for, if you satisfy the consumer's wants, if you go back and you answer these questions, and if you go and provide more solutions as well as more products, added benefits, there are no other issues that should present themselves. And the one thing is overcoming objection. How do you overcome objection? I'm like, okay, well, an example of that is, someone you're selling to, everything sounds great, but they're still on the fence. He's just like, well, no, I don't have enough time, or I don't know, I need to talk to my wife, or, something like that. What are you going to do? My suggestion in that situation, what I've done, you never want to force anyone. No one likes an aggressive salesman or saleswoman. So what I do, I take a step back, and I go back and I kind of regurgitate everything that we've discussed. And I just want them to know that this right here, what I'm offering you, is a great, great benefit. Not only will this increase the time that you have on your hands, because this is something that will go back and decrease the time that you focused on devoting to this situation. However, it will also be a way for you to save money. It will be, I will point out these other things, and if that customer still insists that that is not what they want to do, let it go. I say this because you can definitely get the information to follow up. A good salesman always gets information to follow up, even if the sale is closed, or even if the sale, is successfully closed. A good salesman will always get the information so they can follow up, because a good salesman knows that one happy customer is going to go back and generate more happy customers. He's going to tell about this experience that he had with you, and if you make it that much more exceptional, he's going to make sure that whoever does his friend's account, let's say figuratively speaking, it's the bank, whoever his friends deal with, he wants to make sure that they get the same experience that he was provided with or for. So he refers you. It's a revolving door. This continues to happen. You continue to put out this good customer service, answer, go above and beyond the call of duty, and it will definitely keep coming back time and time again. So, we've discussed how to overcome adversities. And so, I feel like we should practice. Right now, I will give everyone a moment to log into their online website and get their case studies. We're going to go over them. So everyone should be able to take this moment to read the case studies. And we're going to chime in all together and answer these with the most appropriate responses. Okay, everybody look over that. Be one moment.